This is the Music Roundtable with today's guests, Youth Moose. This is the Music Roundtable, and I'm your host, Marius. And today we have Youth Moose. You want to introduce yourselves in 20 seconds or less? Go!
Ladies first.
I was not expecting that. That was like a big loop around. Um, hey, ladies first. Yeah, I don't know. We're Youth Moose, and we have a lot of fun. We write children's music for adults, and uh, I think you just have to kind of like let that speak for itself when you hear our music. Yeah, I don't know. Men second.
We really like to relax. This is a band that is on vacation all the time in terms of creativity. Like, the way we create is very, very at ease. We don't have to rack our brains. We don't gotta write out lyrics and say, let's craft this. It just kind of all flows and happens, you know?
So you just stay in the same place.
What do you
So
mean?
COVID hasn't affected you. You're just,
Oh,
chill in
well,
the same place.
hey, COVID has affected our live shows, but it hasn't really affected like us getting together. You know, maybe the first month or two we kind of were afraid of it, but then we were like, well, we have moose power. We could get together and we'll be fine. And we have been fine. So we still get together to play and write, but nowadays we have this really, really cool production company that we're working with called Turnkey 9 Media. And they've been giving us
Who's
a lot
that?
of they're new, but they're really amazing. And they've been giving us a lot of action items. So we've been getting together more regularly to pump out new content for the fans and for everybody who's following us. So it's been good.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
As far as COVID, we try and keep our we don't follow the rules completely. We see each other, and we try and keep our base of people that we spend time with very small to family and band, essentially. So where we still see each other, fortunately, and we're still able to produce content.
And we
All
all
right.
live very close to each other, so it's great. There's no commuting from faraway lands.
Why don't you tell folks? I mean, I know, but why don't you tell folks how close you live together?
Yeah.
So I could probably throw a baseball at Billy's house from my front porch.
That's a good measure. Do you ever break any of his windows?
Well, I throw like
We'll find out.
like a child, so there's absolutely no way I could break anything by throwing a baseball.
Hmm. Okay,
I was
so
never
that's
raised
good.
with sports. I was raised with music, so I
Come
could.
on, you're tall enough. You're 6'1". You should be like playing basketball or something.
You know, that's the only thing I did do as a child, and I was really good at. Wait, what's the one where you block the ball?
Defense.
Yeah, I was kick ass at defense.
You're patrolling the lane.
That's right.
All right. So I don't know if folks caught on to this, but the young lady below here, the pretty girl, is Stephanie. You didn't say your name, did you?
I didn't
You
actually.
did. Oh, okay. I must have missed that. Yeah,
Yeah.
right, right down there.
There we go.
Yes.
And this guy over. No, wait. That way. Right. He is.
Christopher, if you want to use the full name.
Now I know where Topher comes from.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where Topher comes from. It's Chris Topher.
And this is my nice peace and tranquility candle.
Well,
Why? Because I like to relax.
there we go.
I like to relax. I like to live my life peacefully. No drama. No drama.
So you know,
Just look at the love candle. Yeah.
peace and tranquility. Wait a minute. Does somebody have the brand on that? Do you have?
Uh,
Let's see that again. Hang on.
there is. Wait, do you want me to show it?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do a
Okay.
little branding here. Let's do a little
Sure.
promotion.
This is completely unscheduled and I don't know them. Chesapeake Bay, Mind and Body, Peace and Tranquility Candle. Available now on some website somewhere.
Go
I think I
find
got
it.
it on Amazon for 12 bucks. It's really good. It smells delicious. Very nice.
I can smell it from here.
Cashmere Jasmine. Cashmere Jasmine. Now, I have a water bottle on my right and a candle on my left, and I don't want to get confused. So keep the question simple, because one of these is going to hurt if I try to drink it.
Well, I promise to keep them simple. This is, professional, right? Short and to the point. So for folks that know absolutely nothing about you, and Stephanie kind of already answered this, folks that know nothing about you and have been living quarantined under a rock, how would you describe your music? Now, you kind of gave us a little bit of that. You want to kind of expand?
It's fun music. How would you say, we just take very simple topics and make them into very funny and excitable songs. We are a rock band. So and we have a pretty unique setup that Chris can explain. He looks like he's a little excited right now.
I'm
Maybe
just
he wants.
happy. I'm in a good mood. It's been a good day. Yeah,
Because Chris is our one-man band.
Oh,
Right, and you were talking about the setup, so we were setting you up to talk about the setup.
Setting you up to talk about your contribution to the band, which makes it so interesting.
Oh, okay.
Because me and Billy, I sing and
Time
Billy
to
plays
gloat
the
a little bit.
guitar. What?
Time to gloat.
Yes.
Well, Stephanie's voice is incredible, and Billy's bass playing is certainly one of a kind. Like, Youth Moose just would not have the groove that it has without Billy. And aside from them, I kind of do three things at once. I sing, and I play the guitar, and I play the kick drum. So my socks are dirty. Sorry. So I'm like a triple thing going on. I got the foot going, I got the hands going, I got the voice going. And it's almost like we have, I guess, if you add 3 plus 2, so it's like we have 5 members of the band, but there's only 3 humans, so we got a really good deal on this one.
That's right.
Yeah.
But wait a minute, you have a song called Socks, don't you?
Yes.
So you were just showing me your socks. Supposedly you're supposed to be going barefoot, right?
Yeah. Wait, I didn't have socks on. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay. We didn't.
That was an optical delusion.
We thought we saw a sock.
No, you did, and they were dirty. But
you didn't see it.
To my own credit, that is Stephanie's song. I never swore or testified or agreed on any contract to not wear socks. It is Stephanie's song. So if we point the camera down, I would hope that Stephanie is barefoot. But
I'm not saying anything about my feet secrets today.
Well, but wasn't the whole point to, see whether you had a pedicure?
That's true. And again, a foot secret. Because I don't have a pedicure. That's not a secret anymore. But no, I do not have a pedicure. I have lied. And now you have to listen to the song though to find out why I have to have a pedicure.
That's right. So all you folks that are listening to this, you got to go and find out.
Yes.
Look up their album.
Socks is a song that fits best in the spring, and it's all about not wanting to wear socks.
Yes.
That's pretty much it. But it's
right.
It's fan favorite.
I mean, it's very cold in New York right now, so I'm okay with not having a pedicure and wearing comfortable socks. I think we can make an exception for that right now, because then I'll just be cold for the sake of my music, which is almost a little selfish.
Plus, it's also probably, you're putting yourself through discomfort when you don't need to, when it's cold, you got to wear something.
And we're all about pleasure here. We're all, have fun, enjoy yourself. And that was I don't know why, there's a couple things coming to mind about things that this interview, we did an interview and it was like, in Youth Moose, there's a giant middle finger sticking up to perfectionism. And I just wanted to add that in also. Yes.
2 fingers. As Chris was demonstrating.
Perfectionism. Peace out, perfectionism. Peace out.
Yeah. It liberated me. Certainly did. Youth Moose liberated me from that.
Yeah. He
That's
still
good.
has though. Chris is very much perfectionist still,
I am. I am.
and I am too. But when we make music, we are not.
That's
So
right.
like it's interesting like the powers of like people combining each other, like because when we all make music, perfectionism is not a big deal. Like when we're all creating, perfectionism is not a big deal. But when we're like editing and working on things, perfectionism is such a big deal.
Runs
And
rampant.
yeah, and like we'll like move really slowly because we'll be perfectionists about it. Like, was it done right? Da da da.
Yeah. So,
So
so when we get into that technical brain, we're really into that technical brain. But we're in the creative brain, like Stephanie said, perfectionism, it's like it doesn't even exist and we're just free and open. So it's really nice for that duality to exist because I came from a world where I was perfectionistic all over the place in my creativity and in my technicality, and now it's just isolated to the technicality where it belongs. The creativity should be open and free and spontaneous, and that's certainly what Billy and Stephanie have done for me. So it's like I just love this band. I feel like I'm on vacation. It's a lot of work. We all put in a lot of work after the music, but to create the music, it's never work. It's just fun and free and just so easy. The hard work comes after we write the songs. And I'm just so fortunate that it's like that because some bands, it's difficult all around, you know. But not the Moose.
So, unscheduled question. Uh, was this kind of that you planned to have something that was kind of a release for yourself away from your job?
Not for me. It just kind of happened this way. I really don't make anything happen in my life. I just let the river flow and I just go down and then the log takes me where it will and I just trust in the divine log. That's the way I've always lived my life. And it's been working for me. I've done pretty well. But I never set out and said, my next band is going to feel like so free flowing and easy and like I'm on vacation. It just happened. And then I realized it was happening and I was like, oh, this is amazing. Okay, I never want to change this. I don't know how Stephanie felt when the band first started, but that's how I felt. But let's let Stephanie tell her story.
I found out that Chris and Billy had started a band, and I was like, oh, I like making music with Chris and Billy. I want to know more about this. So I asked them and I crashed their rehearsal. And Chris, who is very
Selective.
selective about who he
It's a nice
allows
way to
into
put
his
it.
music world,
It's a nice way
allowed
to put
me
it.
into his music world.
But not without a fight, right?
It was a bit of a fight. I wasn't involved in the fight. Billy can tell you about the fight. Unfortunately, Billy's on here, but um there was a bit of a pushback, but Billy managed to convince him, and then yeah, we I came to the rehearsal and I was just so excited to make music. I just love making music, and then we kind of realized that we had something, so we decided to make it a little bit more than just um to make it a band and like make it more than just the release, and put a little bit of work into it as well, which is that technical side. So that, and we're now more working on making this band something that people can purchase into and really listen to and connect with even more. Yeah.
So just to backtrack a little bit, because I don't want TMZ to take this and run an article saying Chris hates Stephanie. Chris doesn't want Stephanie in the band. So the reason there was a fight is because I didn't know Stephanie's talent. I had never performed or wrote any music with Stephanie or done anything really musical with Stephanie. So when Billy said, "Oh, we're gonna have somebody over during our rehearsal," I was like, "What? This is our rehearsal. Who are you bringing over?" "Oh, Stephanie." "Stephanie, well, what does she do?" Like, I didn't really know much about Stephanie. So that was the fight. but then she showed me very, very quickly who Stephanie is, and then I realized, like, damn, she totally took this song to a level that I could have never reached on my own, and I'm like, this just works, and this is right. I'm like, I'm sold. I'm like, I would love to have her in the band, and then it's just been history ever since. So
Let
take
me
that,
ask you.
Gen Z.
You're not getting anything.
I get a quick bait from Youth Moves.
No scoop. So let me ask you, beyond the vocals that Stephanie provides, Chris, what do you
So
feel
much.
that she brings to the band from
So
a
much.
perspective of spirit,
Everything.
thoughts?
Everything. Without Stephanie, me and Billy are borderline Weird Al Yankovic. Okay? Stephanie is the ingredient that makes this whole Youth Moose thing this beautiful yin yang balanced band with depth and emotion and like this beautiful depth that I just don't provide very often. Like I have a few songs like that, but it's like it's now this is going to sound very blasphemous, and I want to slap myself in the face for saying this. But Youth Moose were the Beatles. I know. I'm sorry. Stephanie would be like John Lennon, and I would be Paul McCartney. That's the way I feel. I don't know if you agree, Steph, because John had just all that raw emotional depth and that stuff that makes you say, oh yeah. And then Paul had the obla di obla das and the Penny Lanes that make you go, oh, this is beautiful, and it's just we balance that out. And then she sometimes jumps over into the Paul McCartney zone, and I sometimes jump over into the John Lennon zone, but predominantly it's like the balance is just perfect and beautiful. And so that's what I feel Stephanie brings to this band. I just don't know what we would do without her.
I think that was a very good description as far as Paul John. I think that's spot on.
Yeah,
John Lennon.
blasphemous, but spot on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I keep getting messages from whoever.
Sorry, was that your screen that the sound of cracking that I heard there?
Maybe. It wouldn't be a bad thing. That phone distracts me all day. It's just like, ding, 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 ding. Like, I need to come up with a system where I lock it, like, in the refrigerator or something and only pull it out on, like, for an hour a day. It drives me nuts.
Well, I know that you probably were gunning for a new phone. Have you been interested in the new iPhone 12 or one of the newer models coming out?
I'm actually on the 8. So
You're on the 8. Okay, so that was your excuse. Just, get rid of the phone and get the new one.
Yeah, I run things into the ground. I buy something awesome. Like, when I buy something, it will be the best ever. But my catch is, well, when next year comes out and something even better comes out, I just ignore it. And I just run this best thing ever into the ground. And then when that's done, I'll replace it with the best thing available that's possible. But I love running it into the ground, though, because I don't want to be one of those people who upgrades every single year and gets caught in that rat race, because it's just money out the window, But this has nothing to do with music. Sorry. Rambling.
No, this is all about music. I mean, it gives you insight for people to get to know you. And like I said, that's what fans want. They want to get to know you.
That's true. Okay.
So,
I like shawls. I like soft clothing. I like candles. My name is Christopher Sauter.
and that's you in a nutshell.
And that's, keep the drama out of my life.
Speaking of drums, I wanted to ask you, and I don't think I've asked you this before. Have you ever thought about bringing in a drummer or having a proper drum set? Have you ever thought of that?
I don't want to talk too much, but the whole reason we have a kick drum is because Stephanie, during one of our rehearsals, was just fooling around on this drum set. She actually grabbed a few drumsticks. Aha! It's not me.
No, that's me.
She grabbed a few drumsticks during rehearsal and started banging on the toms. And me and Billy kept playing, and I was like, oh man, this sounds good. And I'm like, I don't think we need a drummer because, like, it might be too much for our simple songs, but that sounds really good. And then I was like, what could we do? And then I was like, wait a minute, what if I just went behind the kit and played the kick. So then I switched it. I started playing the kick, and we were playing, and I was like, oh crap! I'm like, we could do this. I could do this. We could do this without adding another person because the chemistry was perfect. If another person with the perfect chemistry came along, I'm sure we would consider it. But we love this triangle that's going on. You know, I mean, I don't want to speak for you, Steph, but I think we love the triangle, and so we've had drummers want to come in, and people say, "Oh, you guys should get a drum set. You guys should get a synthesizer, keyboard. You guys should get violin players." I'm like, no, you three people. We keep it simple. We're on vacation. Leave us alone.
No, myself and the fans, hopefully, we don't judge these things. We just want to know.
See us live, like it's just people tell us all the time. They were like, we saw your setup, and we thought that like it was gonna sound strange because you guys don't have a drummer, but at the end of the show, I didn't feel like anything was missing, and you guys sounded massive. And I was like, sold. Okay, that's it. And we're good. And then if we did get a drummer, we would just kind of be like everybody else anyway. So we're already quirky, singing about socks and gumballs, so why not have quirky instrumentation too, Go the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, it works. I mean, there are plenty of bands that they have some sort of arrangement where somebody's got to do something overtime. Like, I was suggesting the White Stripes the other day to you. Jack White, all over.
Yeah.
Switch to the keyboards, do the guitar. It was just constantly just different instruments, and it's two people, and they make great sound. It's amazing.
Love him.
Yeah. So that actually leads into another question I was going to ask you. Do you play the acoustic guitar just so that you won't wake up your neighbors?
Wait, what?
Do you play the acoustic guitar just so that you won't wake up your neighbors? I mean, you got the drums out of the way. Now I'm wondering whether,
No, that just believe it or not, there was three shows where Youth Moose was electric, actually.
Wow.
And I just got really tired of lugging that 70-pound amp around. And then so we were going back and forth between acoustic and electric, and then I just said, you know what, it's just so much simpler to play acoustic. Sure, I can't shred like I'd like to, but Youth Moose isn't a shred band. And B, the acoustic guitar is a more natural, woodsy vibe anyway, which goes along with our band. So we just kind of settled on that.
All right.
Yeah. But there is actually, though, on the first record and on the second, the secret sauce to the Youth Boost sound, there is an electric guitar that I play underneath the acoustic. I overdub all the acoustic parts on an electric, and I tuck it underneath. So there's this extra little sparkle going on of tone.
So let me ask you. You said you have another album. I don't think I saw that on your website. Is that because you're keeping it on the down low? Or did I miss it?
We haven't released it yet.
Oh, so we're talking about that one. Okay, that was something I was going to ask you about later, but good. Okay.
It's not out. We're still in the recording process and the writing process, but we've teased it. We've posted to our stories the name of the album. We've taken a few pictures and said a few things, but it's definitely a 2021 thing for sure.
So you don't want to make a worldwide announcement on the Music Roundtable about the new album?
I'll leave that up to Stephanie.
Well, I mean, we could make an announcement that yes, in 2021, Chaos, Death, and Ice Cream, our new album, will be coming out. We don't have a timeline for it, however, but we are walking in that direction for sure.
Yes, and we're gonna release it in a funeral parlor that has an ice cream shop built in the middle of an anarchist city.
With disco lights.
With disco lights.
Holy cow.
Chaos, Death, and Ice Cream, man. We gotta
make that up. I just don't want you to build up your expectations. It could happen, but I don't know where the anarchist city is going to be. Actually, I found out that New York is well, someone labeled New York an anarchist city, so that could be us.
Could be, yeah.
It could be in New York.
Or Chicago.
Yeah,
God,
true.
that was true.
Chicago, I don't know why they've gotten some reputation for people shooting everybody else and shenanigans going on all around.
I
I don't
know.
know.
Yeah, it's sad when you see like a great city like Chicago that's facing those challenges. It makes me sick because we played in Chicago. We
I mean,
love.
anarchy does not have to do with shooting people, but
Oh, so I could be very stupid sometimes. When I hear anarchy, I just think of complete chaos. So that's why
it's
I
not
said,
just chaos. No,
oh,
it's actually
see the depth.
democracy.
You see the depth. This is
It's
what I.
actually no. I recently learned anarchy is actually really cool. It's actually it's very well constructed and well thought out democracy played to its proper levels, like when you really suss it out and get to like the really cool depths of it. But I don't know enough about anarchy, but it kind of they take capitalism out and add in the better parts. But I really don't know enough about anarchy, but it's not all chaos. It
Huh.
has a reputation for being all chaos, but it's actually about like fair shares and beautiful things too.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah, I mean in a very diluted way, but yes.
This is reminding me of some of the lines that the Joker said in Dark Knight.
What?
Anarchy, chaos. Just-
What a character.
yeah. Uh, so yeah, I thank you for that. We're definitely looking forward to hearing what you guys are working on. I would assume at some point you might even play one or two here and there. Is that a possibility?
Actually, there's a bunch of songs that we have played live already, like
Yeah.
Really?
Precautionary Key.
That's from. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's Beyond Chaos, Death, and Ice Cream. A song called Muffin.
I love Muffin.
You know, a lot of people love Muffin. That
Yeah.
song has touched the hearts of many people. It is. It is a beautiful love song. And
Is that something that Stephanie wrote?
Yeah.
if Stephanie is singing, she wrote the lyrics to that song. If I'm singing, I wrote the lyrics to that song.
So this is a Lennon McCartney kind of thing.
Blasphemously, yes, it is. The parallels are unprecedented, but yes, Muffin would certainly be a Stephanie song. She wrote all those words. Steph, we don't really influence each other's words, right? I don't think we really
I don't
mess
think
with
so.
each other's lyrics at all. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you ever sing something that's of somebody else's lyrics? Like, do you ever flip it around? Do you ever say, you know what, this doesn't really work if I sing it. Maybe you should be singing it.
With,
No.
with covers, we've done that where it's like, oh, this is in my vocal range. Let's take that. Oh, it's in your vocal range. But with Youth Moose stuff, not really. No, like because the words that come out of my mouth just sound like me and are me, and the same thing with Stephanie. It's like we just kind of write for ourselves so perfectly, you know. Like I wouldn't know how to write a Stephanie song, even if I tried. You know?
So, Stephanie, could you tell us a little bit about Muffin? Or is that
A little bit about
going beyond the boundaries?
So I have two takes on Muffin. Muffin can be about a person, or Muffin can be about a literal muffin. And I like to let the listener decide whether or not they want to put their mind in the viewpoint of me singing it to a person, which obviously it's most likely about a person, or if they want to stretch their imagination to imagine me hanging out with a muffin and doing all of these wonderful love serenades to a muffin. So going out to dinner with the muffin, um and eating sushi with it. I really like I imagine I have such a visceral imagination of like a music video of like sitting with a muffin at a dinner table with a plate of sushi, and like and I just think it's so entertaining. But it's a love song. It's about I was going through a hard time in my life, and the person that I was with and I'm still with was just so helpful and always there to kind of um
Be your muffin.
be my muffin. Yeah, just like help me out and like, it's like talking about taking out a journal and like writing down your emotions, and just somebody there to be supportive and have a really unique special relationship with. And um I love I love my muffin. I love my muffin. I love that song too. I do. It's a good song.
I took it literally as a person, but
Yeah.
I'd have a hard time imagining a muffin actually sleeping in your bed.
Well, that's why it's fun. It's fun to like stretch the imagination when you're like listening to the song, like to like imagine, like really. It's sometimes it could be a stretch to just like put a muffin there. So that's why I do this like practice. Like I try every once in a while to like do a practice, like a creative practice, especially since I've been in this band for so long now that like I like will look for like ways to like make a creative practice out of something. So I invite you to try that, because your brain will get a little bit larger. I promise.
Sounds like if there were a video, it would be really funny too.
And we would like to make a video of it. Yes.
That
We
has
have ideas.
that is definitely Steph. That I think we have to decide right now that it has to happen. Has to be a single off the second record, and we have to do a music video and buy a wonderful muffin costume and have you and this muffin just go gallivanting around New York City in different
Yes.
locations. I think that's amazing. I think it's really amazing.
We had I was talking to I have a vocal coach, D Sharp Studios. They're amazing if you ever need vocal lessons. But my vocal coach Danny, we talk about things like this, and I was saying how I want to make like a clay muffin um for the music video, and have the clay muffin hang out with me. Um and put like eyes on it and a toupee and the whole thing.
Yeah, I think that would be hilarious. Just the locations too, like you said, in your bed, at the restaurant. It would just be a whole relationship with a muffin.
It starts off as a ceramic figure, and halfway through you kiss it, and then it comes to life as a full-sized muffin.
Oh my God, Chris, that's amazing.
Right? And then it's so big that it can get stuck in doorways, and you have to kind of help it and pull it through, and then you again, like, yes!
Kiss the muffin.
I don't know why, but that's reminding me of a song that I wrote about a relationship where it was a song called the Pancake Song. And it was about I was in a relationship with a guy, and we used to eat pancakes every day or like every weekend. And then one day I got too fat and I broke up with him. And then the last verse was like, now I eat oatmeal by myself. Um, and I don't know why. This just reminded me. It was a cute song. I wrote it with another friend, but it was called the Pancake Song, and it was about eating too many pancakes and then breaking it off because I felt like I had my fill of pancakes.
That's great. Um,
I like food.
how about you, Chris? Are you a foodie?
I'm really good at eating it.
We're all good at eating it, aren't we?
So good at eating it. But
That's
I'm
our.
not mad, really. I can appreciate good food if you tell me, Chris, this is good food. Don't just shove it in your mouth and swallow.
That's me.
Taste it. They help me. They help me when there's something that needs to be tasted, like a delicacy or some type of fine quality anything. They tell me, and I don't just shove it in my mouth and swallow it. But otherwise, I am like a nomad caveman squirrel. I'll just forage around the house all day. It's like, oh, peanut butter, lunch done, back to work. I'm just so simple when it comes to food, but like I can appreciate it as long as I'm told that it should be appreciated, and then I'll take the time to appreciate it. But otherwise, it's kind of like Mega Man. It's just like food is like an and I just ingest the whole thing instantly, and then I'm back on track.
You've satisfied your bodily function.
It's like food is like for me is an afterthought. It's like I gotta ingest it, otherwise I'll die. So I gotta eat it. But if I didn't have to eat food to live, I don't know how often I would eat. As much as I do enjoy it, like, oh my God, pizza? Oh. But it's just not on my mind. Like, I don't think about food and say, oh, it'd be so good to have XYZ right now. I don't know. It just doesn't happen for me. Food is not the biggest deal for me.
But you write a lot about food, don't you?
We do. We do.
You got Broccoli Rob, you got the couch potato.
Yeah.
You just talked about muffin.
Yeah, no. Oh my God. So yeah, if Billy was here, he would tell you about the food pyramid. We have this like live section of the show called the Food Pyramid, and we do all of our food songs in a row.
So is that kind of how do you like when you talk about like food, is that something when you're I don't know, is that just because you're thinking of a character that you're trying to bring out, or why food?
Well, I mean, with Broccoli Rob, I wasn't creating a character. I literally believed up until high school that Broccoli Rob was a cartoon character. I didn't know that it was food because I never ate it. And I'm 50% Italian, which doesn't make any sense. But my mom never made Broccoli Rob growing up, so whenever I would hear Broccoli Rob, it was never spoken about in my house. And whenever I would hear it, I would like overhear it, and I would just think, oh, it's Broccoli Rob. Oh, I'm such a literal like alien. I don't like if you say Broccoli Rob, what comes to my mind is a guy named Rob who thinks he's a piece of broccoli and he's having an identity crisis. And I literally was like, oh, it must be a cartoon or a movie or a character or something. And then I thought that until I was in high school, and then somebody finally showed me that it was food. And I'm not lying. This is how I live my life. And I got made fun of for it after I found out. I also thought that IKEA was a gas station up until college. And my friends in college were like, we're going to go to IKEA and buy some furniture. Do you want to come? And I'm like, why the hell are you going to IKEA to buy furniture? They don't sell furniture there. Like, what are you talking about? They sell couches at a gas station? They were like, what? What are you talking about? And then they lectured me on life.
Yeah.
Right, question.
You want a new one? I'll give you a new one. Why hasn't Jimmy Fallon invited Youth Moose to play with his toy instruments yet on the Tonight Show? Because you said you do songs for adults that are really for kids. Those things where he plays with the xylophone and he gets other musicians on.
That's a good.
But why hasn't he invited you yet? And Jimmy Fallon, if you're watching this, you've got to invite Youth Moose onto your show to play with toy instruments.
We would kill it, Jimmy. We would do so good.
See, Jimmy, he said so. Yeah, xylophone. Do you play the xylophone, Stephanie? Can you play the xylophone?
Not play the xylophone, but I'm sure I could figure it out. I think I could hit a couple notes and make it sound like something.
Yeah, just hit one of the bars.
You have the musical ear, like Stephanie has the ear. I have the ear. When you have the ear and a musical instrument is put in front of you, you can find the notes. Unless it's an instrument like brass or woodwind, that's really tough. Violin is tough, but like piano, guitar, xylophone. A guitar could be a little tough too because it's like a piano, it's literally note, But with guitar, you got to hold stuff down and pick things. But like xylophone, hammers, ding, 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 I feel like we would be good at that. So we could pick that up and go on Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, the xylophones see, I learned that I could pick up the xylophone because of what Chris is saying, and plus watching Billy play the bass. This is not to discredit Billy playing the bass, but Billy makes simple things sound so good. And so Billy's like the type to play like an open E string and pick it at God bless
Sorry.
and pick it at a certain sequence in a certain sequence, and he'll make it sound very good with Chris's guitar and my voice and Chris's voice. And that's how we make a song. Is like Billy has a song in Youth Moose where I think he's only hitting an open string. And it sounds great. So
Yeah.
music is very simple for anybody who's watching and wants to learn an instrument or something like that. It's actually much more simple than it seems. You know, it's really about having that ear.
Yeah. And I think we should actually add this for you folks at home. Billy is the bass player. You don't see him here on one of the boxes, but we'll try to get him in at some point. If you've ever seen Jack Black, Jack Black stole his act.
Yes.
Yeah. That's funny.
So, okay. So here's a semi-serious question. Have you played any gigs in other countries, or have you been banned from playing in other countries because they're afraid of silly Americans spreading COVID?
Not yet, right? Although there was that one time in Paraguay. We can't speak about that.
Oh.
But other than that, no, we could play anyway.
Okay. Other than Paraguay.
Yeah.
Paraguay is the one exception.
It's just yeah.
Got it.
There's fire.
Sorry, Paraguay fans. Have you been in any other bands for real and not like James Corden on TV for half an hour with the Red Hot Chili Peppers?
We've both been in band. You were in one other band?
I was in I've been in bands in my life. I was in a band with my best friend in high school, Annie of Jackknife Stiletto. We were in a band together when we were in high school. And I was in a band when I wrote the Pancake song with my friend Rocco. We were called the Thick Frames, and I still wear my thick frame glasses.
Were you all wearing thick frame
All of us had
glasses?
thick frame glasses. Yeah, he was on acoustic guitar and I was singing, and we had a fun time. Very nice, Chris. That's
Hello.
Billy.
This is Billy. He finally joined us. Say hi, Billy. Oh, it's good to be here.
You forgot the hair.
I was writing bass lines for you. Shut up. Oh, sorry. So he made it. Did you shave your head, Billy? Yeah, I shaved it all off. I didn't like it anymore. But that's the source of your power, Billy. Oh, you shut up, Chris. Guys, he's a little rambunctious.
He's aggressive tonight.
And he wants me to hold him really tight. So, but he's like,
You got to keep him under leash.
oh, Billy, get up. Forget about Billy. So what were we talking about?
I forget.
Bands.
Oh, I used to be in a band. It was a one-man band, kind of how I'm playing every instrument in Youth Moose. Well, not every, but you know what I mean. 3. I was in a band called Jelly with an I, and the very first record was called Jump Into the Fuzz, and I played all of the instruments on the record. I played the drums, the guitar, the bass, the piano. I sung everything. I recorded everything. I produced everything. I mixed everything. I mastered everything. I did the artwork. It was just, I did everything. And it was an ego trip. I just wanted to prove to myself that I could be 10 people at once. I'm an alien. I'm not human. And it was like a great record, and I'm very proud of it, but it cost me 10 years of my life. because I went to college for 4 years to become the audio engineer for this record, and I spent the other 6 writing the record, learning how to play the guitar, the bass, the piano, and the drums. The drums took like 2 years for me to actually be able to execute all the parts that I wrote. It was just I bit off like so much that bigger than I could chew, and instead of just spitting it back out, I chewed on this for 10 years until I could actually swallow it. Very determined. Maybe admirable in
Well,
certain.
but the positive thing is that you might still actually be able to use that skill that you learned
Oh,
and
yeah,
still play drums, you know,
yeah,
on your recorded tracks.
it does. It translates to all of my musicality. I can't say I regret it, but for anybody that's watching, if you ever want to be a one-man band, just know where your strengths are and know where your weaknesses are. And wherever your weaknesses are, find somebody who that's their strength and just work with them. Don't spend a decade of your, because like I started writing this album in high school, and then it came out after I was like 29 or something, and it was just so I was in a bubble for 10 years, and I didn't realize that all this time was passing because I was just working on it and working on it and trying to hone my craft and get better. Then when it finally came out, I realized I was like, oh my God, I'm almost 30. What the hell happened in my life? And it's like definitely affected me in some positive ways, but definitely negative ways too. So that's my long and lengthy, long-winded answer to your question. Have you ever been in other bands?
Well, yeah, it's a 10-year affair. That's a lot.
I just realized I could play whack-a-mole with my knee now.
Oh, man.
I think I hurt myself, actually. Knees are hard. Are they harder than elbows?
I actually haven't done a scientific comparison, but I'm guessing that the knees are harder.
Yeah, if I ever
There's
had...
there's more impact area, you know, when you
No,
like
'cause
that.
it
That's why when you see the karate guys, they go ah.
yeah. If I ever had to fight somebody, I would use knees and elbows. Specifically this knee now.
That's their Billy knee.
How do I... There we go. Oh, man, that hurt. I'll be okay.
We hope so.
I need this hand. I need both hands for the band.
So Stephanie, this is a perfect way to introduce this question. How is it playing in a band with 2 guys that don't shave? Do you ever get scratched when you do the publicity photos? And do they ever annoy you?
2 guys that don't shave. I don't
Uh-oh.
get scratched. And I like the gruffness. It makes me happy that I could be in my shallowness. I like being around 2 good-looking guys.
Oh.
No, yeah.
He's blushing. Look at that. The camera's going red.
He actually is blushing right now. That's cute. Adorable. But no, men are crazy, and if anybody tells you differently, um, men are definitely just as insane as men think women are insane. It's an equal thing. But I always say, we do this event every year for women, and it's nice that women support women, but it's also amazing to find men that support women also, and men who really believe in women's empowerment, and you know they're good guys. They're really special people.
Yeah, I think us men, we've made a decision that we've seen how the world gets run when men are in charge, and it's about time to get some women in charge. So, you know, maybe the world can improve.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's like, when a man can step aside for a woman, that's a beautiful thing.
That's it. We've decided. Stephanie, you're running for president. It's coming 2024.
Oh no. No, you don't
Great
want
speech.
me president. What?
I'll be your office minstrel. I'll just play in the corner and keep everybody entertained.
Yeah, you don't want me as president. That's not a good idea.
You'll be the minstrel, and I'll be the jester.
No, Marius can provide. If I'm president, you have to provide me with my action items. I need to stay on track with things.
So,
So
so you're saying my role is going to be chief of staff?
yes, get ready for it.
Oh man,
I have to speak the good words. So you have to provide the action items.
that's scary because the chief of staff is usually the hardest working person in that whole place. Let me ask you one last question because we've got like a ton here and it's been great. But one thing I wanted to ask you, just as long as we're in this kind of conversation, um, I don't really, I mean, maybe besides Muffin, and you said that's actually on the new album. Are there more songs that you're thinking of writing that would be more related to those kinds of things, whether it's love or relationships, or do you have thoughts like that where you want to focus on that and bring more of your personal? Because it's always, as an artist, I think it's always hard to bring out those personal things and share them with people. Um, is that something that you found kind of difficult to start with, and that's what you're moving on? Because I remember Chris, you said that this was a little bit of a darker album. You know, not that I could ever imagine you doing, you know, like Darth Vader kind of dark, but so is that part of the dynamic? Is that what you're aiming for? More emotional attachment, more personal attachment in the songs that you're doing on this new one?
Is this for me or Stephanie?
For both of you.
Well, I think the objective of this record is to go deeper into ourselves and get that really deep pit of whatever is inside of us out into this record. And some of it's going to be, chaotic. Some of it's going to be deadly, and some of it's going to be really sweet like ice cream. And it's going to be all three. And I'd certainly want to write some really, really like heartbreaking stuff. Um, but at the same time, like, I don't know. I'm like the natural ice cream part of the band. So so I don't know how I'm gonna reach deep though. I'm gonna reach really deep and see what I could pull out. Steph, what do you want to do on this second record?
Well, I think see, I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and like love is I don't know. I take like it's not so much love with me as it's diving into the depths of the emotions that I just feel from day to day. Um, that sometimes don't have to do with love, and more have to do with like just feeling like an awkward person, or feeling like life is a struggle, like just I've also been interested in the chakras and writing more from a spiritual framework, um and so like that will show up in my music sometime, in my writing. Sometimes I'm always writing, and I'm always like trying new things when I'm writing. But as far as like romantic love, um to write about that is not really like, Muffin is very much about romantic love, I think. And I don't write about that enough. And I don't think that this album's necessarily going to be about that. Like we have a song called It Ticks Away that's going to be on the next album, and that song is about um just having like an identity crisis kind of, but like not really knowing who you are in the world, and trying to relate to another person while you're trying to figure out who you are, um and how, life goes on. um so it's not, and because I struggle with my mental health, so a lot of that informs my writing. And so my struggles with my mental health is what gives is what takes up more of my mental space than relating to others, unfortunately, because I'm constantly having to like battle with myself, um and relate to myself in a way. um so romantically, it's hard, and I would love to be able to write like a beautiful Whitney Houston song or something like that. um but it just doesn't come naturally to me to write something about like, or something like just the two of us.
Yeah.
We could make it if we try. And like I even made a playlist of songs like that, like just songs that are about like good connection. And because it's something that I'm working on in my life, is learning about connecting deeper with people, and having that special connection, and learning, what it means to really feel that with another person. So that's my long-winded answer to that.
What I really loved about what you just said is, it's not necessarily about love, but it's about emotions. And I think that one of the things that people can relate to right now is that they're all going through various different personal struggles right now because you're living in isolation to some degree, because you're trying to make a relationship work, because you're trying to keep in touch with your family. There are lots of different people out there having all sorts of different problems connecting. And so what I love about that is that, it does, I guess I phrased this the wrong way. Love doesn't necessarily, romantic love at least, doesn't necessarily encapsulate, that whole dynamic of personal growth. That could include your friends, could include your bandmates, it could include anybody, you know. So I think I'm very excited to hear what you guys are coming up with. And I hope that everybody else, listening to this is going to check out your first album, and they're going to tune in. Put that.
Put the
Say that one more time, please. Go again.
spoon down.
Put the spoon down.
There we go. And yeah, and so we're excited to hear more from Chaos, Death, and Ice Cream, and we look forward to seeing when it comes out.
Absolutely.
So, thank you very much for any parting words you want to shoot across the universe.
Stephanie.
You.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yeah, subscribe to the YouTube channel, please.
Oh, there we go.
Oh my god, we just made like a zillion YouTube ads about just that. So that is actually the right thing to say.
YouTube.com/YouthMoose. That's the channel.
It's gonna be.
Go subscribe.
It's gonna be when we get our live link. But if I had to say something, I would just say do everything you can in life to make your life what you want it to be, and the best that you can is good enough.
Yeah.
Yes. And there's a place for you. There's a place for you. Even if you think, oh, there's no place for me. I don't fit in here. Bullshit! You're here, so you fit somewhere.
Sage advice. Okay. Well, sorry, folks. I did make a mistake, like he just pointed out. Uh, it's not actually youtube.com/youth moose. We're actually working on getting that URL, which reminds me. So if you go and you subscribe, you actually want to look for Youth Moose on YouTube, search for it, subscribe so that we can get them over the threshold, and then they will have a URL that is youtube.com/youthmoose.
That's
So
right.
go subscribe. Thank you so much. And I'm going to say goodbye. Say goodbye. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.